All right, welcome back to our No Mercy, No Nostalgia Points ranking series. And today, we're taking on the big one, gold. For thousands of years, it's been the ultimate symbol of wealth, power, and, permanence. But does it actually deserve that legendary status? We're going to strip away all the myths and just look at the metal itself. We'll dig into its history, its science, and its hidden costs, to finally figure out if gold is truly the king of all materials.
And that really gets to the heart of it, right? Is gold's value really intrinsic, something born from these incredible properties? Or is it just a 7,000-year-old bubble built on not much more than its beautiful shine? Well, let's find out.
So, to kick things off, we've got to go back, way back. Because to really understand gold's power today, you have to appreciate the incredible grip it's had on our civilization, basically from the very beginning. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. 7,000 years. That's how long we've been digging this stuff out of the ground. It has outlasted entire empires, religions, whole civilizations. That kind of staying power, it's almost unheard of for any material. But here's the crazy part. After all that time, all that effort, this is it. All the gold ever mined in human history, we're talking about 210,000 tons, would barely fill 3 Olympic-sized swimming pools. And that right there is the central paradox of gold, this huge, immense historical presence versus its extreme physical rarity.
And what a journey it's been. I mean, it starts out as the very first symbol of power for ancient rulers. Then it becomes the backbone of global commerce as the first real currency. It drove massive migrations that literally built nations. And it even flew to the moon to protect astronauts from the sun. From crowns to currency to cosmic radiation shields, that's one heck of a resume.
So what gives? What's the secret sauce behind this incredible history? Let's shift gears from the timeline to the science. What is it about this one element, atomic number 79, that makes it so darn special? Well, it really comes down to this unique cocktail of superpowers. It doesn't rust or tarnish, ever. You can hammer a single gram of it into a transparent sheet that covers a whole square meter. It's a fantastic conductor. It reflects heat like a perfect mirror, and your body doesn't reject it. Most materials would be lucky to have just one of these properties, let alone all of them. But look, if you had to pin it down to just one thing, this is it. Supreme corrosion resistance. While iron turns to dust and silver turns black, gold just endures. This is exactly why a 3,000-year-old treasure pulled from a shipwreck looks like it was minted yesterday. This chemical stability is the bedrock of its role as a permanent store of value. Okay, so that's the history and the science lesson. But where does all of that leave us today in the world of 2026? Where is all this rare and powerful metal actually being used right now? Now, no surprise, about half of all the gold we use still goes into jewelry. That's its oldest use case after all. But look a little closer. A full 40% is for investment and technology. So it's not just a pretty object anymore. It's a critical asset for central banks and a vital component in high-end industry. And the sheer scale of this market, it's just staggering. Every year, we produce over 3,000 tons of this stuff. And at a price floating around $2,700 an ounce, you're looking at a market worth over $300 billion. That number really shows you the constant tension between its tiny supply and this massive demand. So here's the key takeaway. Gold is quietly running in the background of our modern world. The very device you're watching this on right now has gold in its circuitry, making sure the connections are perfect and never, ever corrode. Satellites orbiting the Earth are wrapped in it to manage heat. It's used in medicine to fight cancer and in dentistry because it's completely non-toxic. And of course, it's still the ultimate safe haven asset when the economy gets shaky. Okay, but remember the rules. This is a no mercy ranking. We've seen the incredible shine, so now it's time to look at the shadows. For a metal that's defined by its perfection, gold carries some really significant baggage. And boy, does it have some drawbacks. Gold mining can be environmentally devastating, using things like cyanide and causing massive deforestation. The industry is still plagued with ethical problems, from conflict gold funding wars to exploiting workers. Its price is famously volatile, driven more by fear and greed than actual industrial demand. And for all its noble qualities, let's be real, it's incredibly soft. You can't build anything strong with it. Which, brings up a really important question. If it's so great for electronics, why don't we use gold for everything? Simple. Copper and silver are way cheaper, way more abundant, and they actually offer better conductivity for the price. We only use gold where we absolutely need its superpower, that supreme corrosion resistance. It's a specialist, not a workhorse. All right, the evidence is all on the table. We've seen its gilded history, its perfect properties, its modern uses, and its pretty tarnished reputation. It's time to put it all together and deliver that final merciless ranking. And you know the drill. To keep this fair and objective, we're running it through our 6 core criteria. This framework makes sure we're not just getting swayed by the shine, but we're focusing on actual performance, impact, and relevance. So, how did gold do? Let's break it down. It gets near-perfect scores on historical impact and lasting relevance. I mean, it's defined value for millennia, and it still does today. It also gets high marks for its amazing workability and its versatility. But it takes a big hit on mechanical properties, mostly for being so soft, and an even bigger hit on scalability and cost. Its rarity is both its greatest strength and its biggest weakness. So when you tally it all up, our final verdict is a high A tier. Look, gold is an elite, legendary material, there's no question about it. Its unique inertness and its cultural power place it far above most others. But its extreme rarity, its high cost, and its physical softness, they just prevent it from reaching that coveted S tier of universal, world-building materials like, say, steel or concrete. I think this quote just nails it. Gold isn't the material you use to build the foundations of a civilization. It's the material you use to show you've reached the very top of it. It's not the workhorse, it's the reward.
And that kind of leaves us with one last thing to chew on, doesn't it? We value gold because it doesn't rust, it doesn't decay, it doesn't react. So what other materials out there derive their greatest value not from what they do, but from what they refuse to do? Something to think about. Anyway, that's all for this one. Stay curious,